Hello, and today I'm going to teach you about Photoshop and Illustrator. And I really want to combine the concept about Blender and Unreal Engine. I think that they could improve our art power. That's what I think. So let's get started. In Photoshop, at first, this is the starter interface, and I think the point we need to focus now is the new file button. And if you have the account, then you can share them, or people can share their file with you in the Adobe Cloud. But for now, we will just click this button. And by the way, of course, Adobe, they have good community. So if you really want to learn more tutorials, they have prepared for you. And just click it. Okay, let's get started. At first, click New File button, and you will notice this window jump out, and they prepare some tabs for you. Like this one is your recent artwork, and also they have some genres. For example, actually Photoshop is for photo editing. I will have another tutorials about photo editing in Photoshop. But now, today, the topic is digital painting. So, the points and the differences between these tabs is about the sizes, the common sizes people used. So, photo, you will see some centimeters sizes here, or inch. And for me, usually I will use this and art. Yeah. And normally I want to have high resolution, so I always just go straight here and type the file name, like today's date, or I don't know, test today's date. And here, these sections is about the unit. Usually I use pixels or millimeters for printing, because Photoshop is useful for graphic design too. Yeah, I will talk about it. So I use pixels, and usually I prefer to set it to 4,000 and 6,000 pixels. And now you see here, orientation is about the direction you want the artboard to exhibit. So this one and this one, just choose the one you want. So if I set the width and height here in these sizes, but I want to change the direction, orientation, you say, just click it. It's so convenient. And this button I usually don't use. That's all. So if you want to understand more information about this, just Google it. Okay, and the last one I want to say is about resolution. So you just leave it as default setting, I think. And about color mode, I just want to give you a very simple explanation. Like RGB and CMYK color, they are the main ones people use. And RGB color is for people to see on the computer or iPad, you say. Anyway, the image exists online. And CMYK is for printing in reality. I think that's a very simple way to understand the differences between them. And these options, they give you more detailed color to choose, I think. Yeah. But normally I will just leave it in 8-bit. Background content is your default canvas color. Background color, you can set the one you love, of course, but by default it's white or transparent. As you see, transparent. Okay, that's all. So I won't discuss about advanced options. Normally I wouldn't use it. Okay, so now we click create. Okay, now we get into it. At first, you might feel very intimidated. You mean, oh my god, it's so many options. But in digital painting, we only need to know something. Like in this toolbar, you only need to know the brush and the color here. Other things, I will talk about it later. So I think I will reset here. So normally your one will look like so. This is the default interface, and I want you to custom it. So at first, you see so many panels here, like this one is one panel. You can drag it by clicking on this, how to say that, these holes. Yeah, so if you drag it and tap it to the side you want, then it will snap to it. And these double arrows means expanding it. So now we have the wider toolbar, and it just depends on you. What would you like? And now we see the right side. We can expand it too. But normally I wouldn't use them. So I will drag this tab. Now we can talk about the layer of panels. So one floor, you can say this is the one floor, because this one is on the top of this. Yeah, they are just like a building, and first floor, second floor, third floor, fourth floor, fifth floor. If you want to change it, just click your left click on the mouse, and now if you click on the tab, you will become pressed and drag it, and now it's floating here. Look at here, we don't need it, so close it. This one we don't need it. This one. And now another thing is you can bring the floor at the same one. What does that mean? So now I want to put brush settings and tool presets at the same floor, so I click on this tab and drag it to this floor on the blank space and release. And now they are together. And if you want to, now they are at the same floor, which means they are grouped together as well. If you want to, how to say that? Manage them together. See? Oh no. Oh, see this one? Now we have two panels and they have different floors, right? And if you want to just change this one, you need to click on the blank space. And now the same floor will be changed together at the same time. So I don't want the libraries. Close it. And I want this one to be the right side. This one snap to it. Okay, this one I think is right. Okay, and if you want to see this interface setting every time you open the Photoshop, then you should save it here. Click this one. It looks like a battery icon actually in my eyes. Okay, click it. This one's name is choose a workspace. Okay, click it and choose the new workspace. Of course, we will have some keyboard shortcuts later. And now I just type in some name. Anyway, whatever. So if you click here again, now you will see this setting. This workspace setting's name is the thing you just typed. So now you can choose it, all the default ones. But I'm not done yet. So what else? The brush here, I will teach you later to import some brushes. Very interesting, because in digital painting, the most important one, I think there are two important things. One is your basics of painting, how to draw in the canvas. And the second one in digital paintings is brushes, because brushes offer you the different effects of the thing people see. For example, if I choose the right brush, then I can create the sand or the texture I want to show people. That's all. So this one, I love it. And before saving it again, I want to go to, now we can see this line, this column. They have the main functions we can choose, we can find. So for example, if you accidentally close this one and this one, anything you don't want to lose, but anyway you lose it. Okay, I want to snap my tool preset here. I think that's my prefer. Okay, so anyway, if you lose something, then you can just find them in Windows here. So I close the brush here. So now if I click again, it will pop up here in the middle of the canvas. Okay, so now I drag on the tab and snap it to the same floor of brush settings. So if I don't need to see it now, I can just click on the double arrows to close it. Or you can say minimize them. Yeah, and also we can manipulate the width or height, you say. for this tab. So for example, I want to see more layers instead of tool preset. Then we can just move our mouse to the space between tool presets and layers. And now we have an arrow have two heads. And now you can manipulate that. Okay? So now this is our setting for workspace. Okay, and set this name. We can just type the same name. Yeah, and now you just replace it. One last thing. We need to go to Edit and Keyboard Shortcuts. I have some shortcuts used very often. And before we change it, I want to introduce the genres in this panel because, as we know, Photoshop offers so many functions and they also organize them. So now if you click these options, you'll see application menus. What does that mean? You see File, Edit. These names just like what we see in this column. So application menus means this line. Okay, and the main thing we need to see is from the toolbar. Yeah, so we can just choose tools, and now you see they have many tools, the same as here. They are the same. And I will introduce the common keyboard shortcuts we need to know later on. And now I want you to find this one, foreground colorPicker. And usually I just type J because I don't use this one. You say they have already make J in use with this one, but I don't use it, so I will just click. I will just accept. That's all. J. Okay. On screen cast here, so you can see what I press for the keyboard shortcuts. And now I want to talk about toolbar here. So as you see, actually we didn't have many here, because if you click on these three dots, just click by your left mouse for maybe just press, then that will show you something else, more tools here. And now you can see more if they didn't show in here. And also you can see layer shortcuts more. And if you disabled these icons, then you wouldn't show them in the toolbar, but I want to keep them. Okay, and now if you want to see more tools in these icons, just press longer on left mouse, then you can see more things, but usually we don't need to. But this thing, gradient tool, I want you to click here and choose paint bucket. We need it more than gradient, at least I am. Okay? And a brush tool. So now get straight to brush. So if you oh shit. Go to Adobe Brush, Colors. So you can download the brushes from Colors in Adobe website. I will leave the URL down below. Nice. And now you can choose what you like. You can download them all anyway, but it took some time. So you need to sign in your account at first. So if you didn't have an account, then you couldn't use it. And it depends on what you like. Download them all. Just click and go to the folder you want to brushes. So go to the brushes, download it. And now in brush panel, you will find this 3 lines, 4 lines icon. Click here and choose the one import brushes. And now we have all of them. Their type, file type is ABR file. So choose them all and load. Click on load. Yeah, so now we have there organized in folders. Nice. Okay, we are going to painting very soon. But the one last thing I really don't want to use is the default tool preset. So I have my own one. I will replace this tool presets. So I have few one from Ctrl+Paint and Wacom. I bought his courses. I encourage you to buy one too. He's a great artist. So now if you click import, then Photoshop will ask you, do you want to import as brushes? Then this tool preset will get loaded in this brushes panel, but I don't want it. What's the differences between tool presets and brushes? I will tell you. Okay, I have simple tool preset here, simple one. Yeah. Now I have them, and I want to load one more. Wacom and Wacom. Oh no, I don't need here brushes. Okay. So current tool only, it means if you didn't enable it and enable it. If you didn't click this one, then it will show you all the things in these tool presets. But if you click this one, then it will only show you the tool you use currently. For example, what does that mean? Because now I click B, and which means I'm using brush tool now. So here in tool presets, I only see brushes. See, this icon means brushes. And if I click E, eraser, you click here. Then now with this enabled, with this one clicked, and now all we see in Tool Presets is eraser. Nice. Okay. And now one last thing before we start painting is the layers panel. So now all we need to know is folder and the new layers. And before we get started, I will create a new folder and double click on the name, and I will say script. Before we really get started, I want to talk about graphic tablet, Wacom, and my tablet has screen too, so which means I need to enable dual displays. And if you didn't set up very setting, Windows search settings, and you will see your display setting here. I have, and if you press Fn and F2, then it will show you you have 4 options, and mine duplicate. So now the screen in this laptop, they are same as the screen on my tablet. So this is my setting. If you have any other problems, you can go to search display in Windows or Mac OS, or you can leave your comment down below. Yeah, that's all. Let's guess. But do you really need so many brushes? Actually, at first is no. Okay, but so what do we need? I recommend you can go to Ctrl+Paint. It's the place I start digital painting, and it teach me so much. Ctrl+Paint. So I will leave the URL here too. I recommend, layer tutorials, some are quite years ago, but because Adobe, they didn't change a lot, so actually they are still useful for you. I learned so much from this website. So PS note. Okay. And what do we need now from this website is the brushes. So we should go to, I think, the store. Maybe not. By the way, I bought them all. I learned a lot from the lights, shadows, and color, and more. So nice. Love them. And he also have so many videos on YouTube too. So if you want to watch it, just go there. Go to his channel. Where is the brushes? Here, free custom brushes. That's what we need from now. And you can learn from this section, their library. So you can download this tool preset and also the ABR to your brushes. And they also offer the instruction videos here if you would like to see. Okay, anyway, so now you can start painting. And you need to search for, so this is my tool preset, and you can set yours. But if you didn't have Wolof, I call it envelope. Okay, anyway. So also you can, if you find this used very often, you can add your brushes to the tool preset. How do I do that? Click on this add button. Would you like to create a brush preset instead? Okay, so click no and charcoal. 01 dash charcoal. Okay, now we have a new tool in this tool presets. And how do we start painting? At first, we need to see things as a shape. So one more thing you need to download is Puref. It's a nice Puref. It's a nice application for you to create your mood board. So what is mood board? We can download it, then I will tell you. You just click Get Puref and choose your platform and choose your account. You can choose custom amount and type it 0. And now go to checkout. It's free. Download. Seems I have already downloaded, so I wouldn't check yes. So just go check it and save. And when you finish download, click it, open it. Where is it? Okay. Download. Open it. Yes. Accept. Next. Next. And next. And install. And when you finish, you will see Puref. You will see this screen. This screen showing. And how do we move it? You need to right click on it, then it can be moved to wherever you want. And if now we open the website, for example, Pinterest, or the one I love is Unsplash. Unsplash is a really good free resource for photos. You can download them. Oh, not this one. Unsplash. Thing is Unsplash. This one. No, why? Unsplash. This one. Need it. Okay, now if you find some photos you really like, and by the way, you can move your mouse to the lights here, then it will show you double head arrows, which means you can extend it or shorten it. You can change the height and the width as you like. Click on the photo you like, drag it to Puref, and now it will automatically save the photo in this canvas, Puref canvas. And if you scroll down your middle mouse, then you can see the whole thing in this Puref canvas. Drag one more thing. And now I drag too many things, and they are messed. What should I do? Should I organize them one by one manually? No, they have a good function. So now, for example, like this, I drag too many things. So if you drag many photos to Puref, they will organize them automatically. But if one by one, then something will mess like this. You are on top of others. That's not what we want. So right click on Puref, wherever you click is fine. And the one we need to choose is images, arrange, and optimal. Oh no, why? Why didn't happen? Nothing happened. That's because I only select one photos. So now if you select them all by Ctrl and A, now you select them all and right click again, image, arrange, optimal. Where is optimal? Oh, sorry, it's here. Or they have shortcuts if you would like to memorize. Ctrl and P. And now everything is organized, right? It's nice. And if you want your window stays on top, for example, at first we didn't have this one on top, so we need to right click mode, always on top, or type in the shortcuts Ctrl, Shift, and F. And now we have this Puref canvas always on top, right? And if you want to save it, Ctrl and S, or right click and save. Save as, save. And choose the one you want to store. This one I want to tutorials, and I will open a folder, Moodboard, and you can type the name you want. For example, today's date, and first painting, first Moodboard, and the file type is Puref scene, PUR. Then you will save it. And if you save too many photos, then of course it took much longer time while it's saving. Okay, that's all. And if you want to know more, right click, you can maximize and scroll up your middle mouse. And of course we can take some notes here. There are so many tutorials on YouTube, you can find them too. But usually I just drag photos in here and organize them. One last thing is about notes. So if you press Ctrl and N, you can have a note here. And for example, I want to organize them as types scene, Ctrl N, and this one maybe people. And as you notice, if you click twice by your left mouse, you can also change the background of these notes. By default, the opacity is near to 0 is 20. So if I drag to 20, then these notes, they didn't have background color. But if I drag it to 100 and I choose this color, do you see? This is blue, right? But what we see is black. That's because you need to manipulate the brightness here. So now we are in the darkest part here. We need to drag it to the right, the brightest part, and press OK. And now we have a brand new blue background. And of course, double click by your left mouse and tap and choose the notes color. And this time I want maybe I drag this one to white. FF. If you want to remember, you will see the numbers here. If you are curious, you can see my Illustrator tutorials. I will talk about it. But anyway, if you have these numbers, or you can say hashtags here, text here, then every time you go to RGB panel and type the same FF 6 times, then it will just give you the color of white, because every color, they have their own text. You can say that. Okay, so now I have white text, and if I want to change it to red, now I have red. If I don't want the backgrounds anymore, just manipulate your opacity to 0. Okay, now I didn't have a background. That's nice, right? Okay. And normally, we need to, this is how I manipulate them. So of course, every time you click on the picture, you can drag, you can maximize them larger. Like this one is too small than others. So it depends on how you to use. Okay, and this one too large. And of course, when you click on the photo, if you move your mouse to the 4 vertex, you can not only manipulate their sizes, you can also rotate them. Ctrl Z, I don't want to do anything. So go back. Yeah. So if you drag your photo to the blank space, then the canvas will be larger. They will automatically follow the range of your photos. Okay. Now I have my own mood board. So why do we have mood board? That's because every time we paint something, we need references to help us finish the artwork. Right? Okay. And now remember to save it by Ctrl S. And you can change the window by click maximize again, then it will be smaller. And if you don't need it, close it. And for me, normally I have 2 ways to use my mood board. One is I will make my canvas smaller and put it in somewhere I don't need to see. For example, if I have a navigator, so I go to Windows and I find navigator. I don't need this one, but I need a space in this panel. So what I need to do is doing this. I resize my canvas to fit navigator panel. And now if you scroll down or up or down, you can see your pictures here, but it's quite small. So It's up to you. If you need larger, then just manipulate your panels. Make it larger. We can always manipulate our shortcuts here. And what's the differences between these areas? Application menus means what we see on the top of Photoshop. And we need to add one shortcut here in Toolbar. So we choose Tools and find the one I want. Foreground color picker. And I choose to put the J to the canvas here. And what does that mean? You can drag the picture to the canvas here and you will go directly to our layer. But that's not what I want here. I want you to drag this picture to the blank space here, right by the side of tabs. And now we have two files. And go to Window here, Arrange, to up vertical. Now we have our references. So you have two ways to see the references. And by the way, in Puref, if you right click on the select picture and go to image, go to save and go to export, go to select images, and we can save and choose the folder you want to export and just export. Okay, so now we will have the image from the Puref. Okay, now go back to our PSD. And by the way, if you press Ctrl S in this picture, you just drag in. Ctrl+Shift+S. Then we can save it as PSD file. We can save here and you can give it a name, whatever you like. Click OK. Okay, so I want to draw the first bear here. So cute. And if your canvas in the wrong size, you can manipulate by go to image here, canvas. Make sure you select this file, not this file. Image, canvas, and you can manipulate here. So for example, I want to change it to like this. So you can change it like this. Even you just set it at first, you can always change it. And another tool to change the size of canvas is crop tool here in the toolbar. Just do it manually. You can just drag it. By the way, when you change the size by crop tool, you will see the background has different color by default. It's because Photoshop wants to tell you, oh, now you change it from the original one. So if you want to have the totally white background again, you need to change it. you need to change it from, go to your color picker here, by J, choose white, and go to G, or click the bucket here and choose paint bucket. If you didn't have bucket icon here, which means you have the gradient tool by default, just click it and choose paint bucket. Yeah, and just fill the background. And by default, this background is locked. What does that mean? Which means it's not a layer. So you couldn't. So if you press eraser on this background, it will show you the random color produced by Photoshop. So anyway, I just recommend you click on this background layer by default and double click. Photoshop will tell you, oh, do you want to create this background to a new layer? You just say okay, and now what's gonna happen? If you erase this layer, you will see a transparent background. Okay, so now you can manipulate like other layers. Okay, let's draw. Press B, you have the brush tool, and press J. Make sure you have the black color to draw. And how to draw? Let's see this bear. Drawing means shape in the right direction, in the right position, in the right proportion. I think this three is the main point of painting. Okay, so in my eyes, this bear should be deformed to simple shape. So every time I draw, I will create a new folder named draft. And this folder, I will draw things in simple shape. And usually deform the image to circle and square. Rarely I will produce the triangle. Okay, so this bear, it should be seen as circular, square, and the proportion, how to measure them. Just see it as possible as you can. So at first, we set the size of the head. And now, I think the body is 2 times larger than the head. Yeah. And this is the size of our ear and the size of the head, of the hand and feet. Okay, so go back to our draft layer and draw a line first. And I always set the bigger brush in draft folder. How to see our size of brush? You can go to this control column and click on this brush icon. You can see your size here. Here is smaller, and drag it to the right side is bigger. And of course, you can choose your other brushes here. And this column is the recent brushes. Of course, you can change this. This is your brush direction. Yeah, I will talk about it in the future about custom brush. And for now, we need to draw a simple shape. Okay, this is the head. This is. Don't draw too many details now. Just make it square. Head, hands, belly, feet. Okay. And how about the face? I'll put a square to set a range of the face. So this should be the range of the face. Okay. And now I want to manipulate. I will add another layer and create other color to fix the details. Okay, so go back to this. Oh no, I should draw these notes in another layer. Yeah, like this. Chunky cheek. Okay. And belly. Come down here. And little feet, little toe. Toe. Square. You need to measure this curve. And draw. Okay, and now the ear, an ear hole here, and now set the face. This is the difficult part of this tutorial. So at first, I will draw the most obvious thing. It's the big nose. Yeah. Then the eyes. To make sure the proportion is right. Okay, that's all. Okay, and now select close the folder and look here. We have some functions here, and the most important one today is the opacity. Now our folder shows us 100% of the opacity of this folder, and now we drag it down to maybe 614. Okay, and now we create a new folder, call it line. I want to draw the line contour of this bear. Press J. Make sure you have the foreground picker. Click on the layer. And now we can draw the contour again. Now I'll fix some details here. I want to draw it chunky as I could. Okay, close or hide the draft folder and clean our line. Here is too thick. Right? Here should be flat on the top. Yes. And now I need to be more squared and more circular. Sorry. More circular. Here. Always zoom out to see the big picture of your drawing. Here is more circular. Okay, and now fill the space we didn't draw. Okay, erase it if you don't need this line. And here should be a little bit chunky, right? Okay. Okay, finished. I want to make these eyes like this. And how about the gray area here? Go back to our PSD, create a new folder, call it color. Create a new layer and make sure you put this folder beneath the line folder because the structure of layers in Photoshop means which one is on the top. So the folder or the layer on the top, then they have the priority to show you. So if now I draw a folder, I draw a color, in the layer here, see the the black part is on the top. So the gray is covered. And if we change the position of the color to the top, and now the black is hidden, right, beneath the gray area. Put it back to the color folder. Now we can draw this cute area here. Okay, what else? We want to add a little bright point on the nose. So press J to your foreground color. And now make sure you create a new layer on the top here, and you can cover the black part. Finished. And what if we want to draw some color for this bear? What should we do? Go back to our PSD. And now this one is gray. And it should stay on the top. I add another new layer beneath it called light brown. I just call it brown. And press I, you can have eyedropper here. You can sample color from the image. And if you draw the color manually like this, it would be really tiring. So I want to teach you about the selection. So go to Toolbar, choose Lasso. Its shortcut is L. And what does this do for us is select the area to fill the color. So now I select an area to fill brown and go back to Toolbar, choose Bucket. If you didn't have this one, you only have Gradient tool, then just long press here and drag it to the right side a little bit and choose Paint Bucket. Click. Now, this area we select is filled with color. So selection means we can only do something within this area, but other area we wouldn't do anything. And if you want to deselect, you can go to this option on the top, select, and you can deselect. So now it's gone. Or go back. You can inverse the selection, which means now everything is selected except this area. Okay, you can play around with it. And about Lasso, you can zoom in and select manually. Sometimes we may accidentally select outside of the area we want. I don't want this area outside of the contour. What should I do? So, still choose the Lasso tool and press Alt. Now we see our little arrow and lasso icon. We have a subtract symbol beneath it. See? And now select the area you didn't want. Release. Now it's gone. It's removed. Hooray! Okay, so what else? If we want to add more area manually, still select Lasso tool, press Shift, and choose the area you want. Release. Now it added to your selection. Right? And another way to select your image is Pen tool. So what is Pen tool? Pen tool, you can deselect by Ctrl D. Now our selection is gone. And it's not convenient because it's not saved in our Photoshop. But actually, selection can be saved. So how do we do that? Go to Path panel, and I will show you how to do that. I choose Pen tool, or you can press P, the shortcut. And now, we can use Pen tool, click. Now we have the first vertex. And click on second one and drag it out. Then you can have a curve. And what should we do with this? See? The third one have a weird curve. So if we didn't want this curve because we drag this handler too much, it affects the next vertex. So press Alt and click on this vertex. Now, this handler is gone, which means we wouldn't have a curve in this part. So how do we master the pen tool? You need to make sure how to plot the curve and shape from this vertex. So if we accidentally press another key like brush and we want to go back to use pen tool from this vertex, just click on this vertex and click on this part, and you can, don't release your mouse, then you can drag it to have a curve. And this part, I want to a rather straight line, so Alt click or have a little curve. So play around with this. And if you just do something wrong, just press Ctrl and Z to go back to the last step. So select the O contour of this bear, and I will told you how to save our selection into a path. And I think for beginner, at first, we need to be patient. So we wouldn't have a line for too far from the last vertex. Just do it manually. It's okay to be slow at first. Just get used to this tool. Okay, and now zoom out to see our selection by the pen tool. Okay, perfect. And now go to Path panel. We see here is a work path, and it will be gone if we do another path. So now click this icon here. It will become the selection. And we want to save this selection, so drag this layer, this path layer, to the Add New Layer. And now its name is Path 1. Of course you can change it, but now it's not work path anymore. That is the most important thing you need to know. Because if you stay in work path, then it will be gone. It wouldn't be saved here, which means if I use pen tool to choose another thing, see, work path is gone because it's left with our canvas, what we do here right now. So go back, we need to save this one to path 1. And as we see, if we didn't click on this dash lines icon, then it will stay in like pen tool path, right? And it's quite annoying. So if you keep selecting the path here, when you go back to layer, you want to draw something, you will see this blue line. That's not right. So make sure every time you finish selection, you finish creating a path from your pen tool, click on the blank space of anywhere in the path panel. Then you wouldn't see the blue lines anymore. And one more thing is important. Press Ctrl and click the thumbnail of path here. You can select the path we have and Ctrl D, deselect. It's the same in layers. If we Ctrl and click on the thumbnail here, then everything we draw in this layer will be selected. It's interesting and quite useful if you know it. So click here and now press G. Make sure you sample this color. Go to foreground color to make sure you select the color. Press G, click. Oh no, what's happening? I choose the wrong layer. So go back to brown layer. And now it's right. Ctrl D, deselect. So we finish our bear. But I think our bear is a little bit too left. So you can just crop the canvas a bit here. Okay. And what if you want to export your image? You can choose JPG, and if you didn't want too many files, you don't want it be too large file size, then you can manipulate here the quality. Okay, and if you change the scale here, you will see your image size will be changed in proportion. I just want it to stay the same. So every time if I need to downgrade the size of this image, I will just manipulate the quality. So if you click the format here, you will see we have PNG, JPG, and GIF. Normally we just export the static image here. In the future, I will teach you how to animate images in Photoshop. Then we will use GIF. And for now, we only need to know JPEG, and PNG. So if you export bear in JPG, you will always have background color. But if we hidden. We make the background layer hidden and go back to File, Export, and you will see JPEG still offers you the white background by default, even you set the background as transparent. See? So if we choose PNG, now we see a difference. See? Now PNG, if you click this transparency, you can have the transparent background. Export PNG. Yeah. Okay. So that's all. That's today's tutorial. We have two bears. One is JPEG, one is PNG without background. And what if you want a polar bear? Then just select a polar bear. And since we have already saved a path here, you can click on this thumbnail, or Ctrl+D, deselect, and Ctrl+click on thumbnail here. You can have the same area too. It's magical. And this time, I want a polar bear. G, fill it. Oh. Put it beneath the gray layer. Give the layer a name. It's always be better than without doing that. So now export another bear with transparent background. This time I want to call it polar bear. Or use camel cast, polar bear. Okay, nice. And another one, I want to use PANDA. So PANDA layer. PANDA is different. So, I think PANDA need a white body, but it has a pure black ears. What else? A totally black eyes with huge orange. Oh no, it's so cute. And it has it has black hands, black torsos. Oh, it's so cute. You can make your brush larger by pressing right bracket on your keyboard. Make it smaller by left bracket. Right bracket makes it bigger. And if you want to save your file, Ctrl+S. And sometimes you may find your image of brush is gone. That's because you may press caps lock accidentally. So just press it again, it will come back. And what if we press tab? Tab will make any application panels be hidden. Press tab again, it will come back. And if you press F, it will give you larger canvas view. And F again, full screen. F again, go back to normal. Make sure you save your file all the time. For me, that's very important. I don't want to redo again. Anyway. Okay, now I have a panda. Oh, it's so cute. My God, I love pandas. Pandas. So cute. So cute. My God. Okay, panda. Maybe I should make it have larger eyes. Ooh. Oh no. Okay, this one is fine. And if you want to make more, you can make a little bit eyes here. Oh no. So since we have eyes is black in this area, so we need to have a eye layer on the top. So no, I don't think that's cute. Unless you have a smile face, right? No, I prefer this one. Okay, I prefer this one. Okay, we have a panda too. Exported panda. Panda. Okay, finished. Congrats. And now go to Illustrator.